Welcome to Effect Custom Uncensored. We are fixing a dent on this door. Previous video we repaired the metal. Now we're going to wipe the Bondo. We have just a regular lightweight Bondo that we're using. I'm actually out of my paper, so I'm going to use this and then reuse it. Have to just guess on how much you're putting on there. It takes a little practice on that. I may have to redo it, may have some left over, not real sure yet. We'll see. Start off with that right there. We're gonna do a coat over it, let it sit. I'm gonna add a little bit extra hardener. Make it dry a little quicker. Then we're gonna hit it with some sandpaper. With some 36 as it's hardening, knock the high spots off, and then we'll hit it with some 80 grit and wipe it again. And this right here, have to stir it up. Takes a few minutes to stir it up. You want that, this will all be mixed together. There's all different ways that you can do that. As long as it's all, you see how it's separated, you want it all one color. And you have to skip it up like that and get the bottom. See how it's white on the bottom? If you don't mix it up real good, it won't do what it's supposed to. It'll have some that doesn't have any hardener in it, some that does. It may cause problems in the long run. But it's pretty good right there. Alright, so we're gonna open the door right here. We're gonna start. We'll wipe some right here, and then we'll wipe it right here, and then we'll wipe over all of it. There's three body lines right here. One here, one here, and one here. I always start with my, see there's another spot, low spot right here. Put that over it. Fill in the low spots that you know is low to start with, and then we'll come back and wipe another coat over the top of it. I'm not sure if I got it back far enough here. May have to take some of that paint off. Let's see what it looks like after we block it. And you can put this stuff on there, and as long as it's wet like that, it's kind of hard to fill in the low spots unless that right there. And I'm gonna put a little bit right over the top of it. Just lightly letting it rub over it, trying to get the high spots off. I'm gonna let that dry just a minute. And see, I did way too much. Let me put a little bit more on it right here. Let it. Now it's leaving that mark right there. Won't be able to leave that like that. Come up here and come down like that. So what I'm gonna do is probably gonna end up having to pause the video and let this dry just a minute. I'm going to clean my stuff up while this dries. Probably take about 10 minutes and we'll be back. So we're back. It's been 20 minutes. The Bondo is hard. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna block it. I'm gonna start off with a hand block with 36 grit and go over it and show you the way that I block to get it straight. See how I come across? That right there is showing you got lower spots. I'll do the same on the bottom and just work it back and forth. I'll do it like this and then I'll go on the other side and do it the other way. Now go from the other side. Got a little stick, clean my sandpaper out. Coming down and staying on that body line, trying to keep that line right there straight. Come down here and I'll do the same thing. Notice how I'm going around it, that way sanding it all even, you know, just stay in one spot, you'll dig a hole out and you kind of get it sideways and go at an angle, keeps everything flat. You can do that on your body line, just kind of give you a little line to go by. But you can't stay like that. Like I said, it'll leave an indentation, so you go sideways like this. And when I get to that point, I like to go around the edges and kind of get them close and work from the edges back in, doing all this at the same time. And it's a lot quicker with an air file. Kind of got the gist of it. I'm gonna hit it with an air file real quick and go on and knock this down, and we'll put a skim coat over it and see if it'll be ready to paint. We'll block it one more time after we do that. Hopefully it'll be good then. All your air tools, you need to oil them before you use them. You hold this thing flat, same motions. Yeah, that looks, still got a little edge right here, starting to feather in nice there. It was pretty good. Took a little high right there, but if you'll notice, I still got paint right there, so that right there, I don't like that. So we're gonna wrap it again, so I may have to take this down and take this back more. You see our line, it's getting more defined, but we'll stay with this right here, and this will actually make us have our line. We'll just stay with this, because this is good, and it'll continue on down. around the edges now. It's pretty good, but it's high. There's definitely a lip right there all the way around, so I'm gonna work it back in like this. And as I do that, this right here will get closer to this, which will also be mimicking this body line right here, which should make that go straight across like it's supposed to. Getting there, still needs to come down some more. That body line right there is still off right there. We'll have to fix that, but it's still high right here too, so we ain't quite there yet. A little closer here. Need to take off some more down here, so I'm gonna spend a little time right here bringing this up. And as you're sanding, you have to keep putting your hand on it. You don't want to sand it down too far, and you got to keep your eyes out for where you was pulling the metal out. May have a high spot. When you hit that, you need to stop and figure out what's going on there. So you can't just keep sanding. You sand for a little bit, and you stop, look at it, and wipe it with your hands, and just kind of feel everything, see how it feels. Right now it feels pretty good. Of course, you still got a low spot here, 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 and that right there is still high on that body line, still not quite right. So I'm gonna keep sanding right here. You see it starting to feather in right there. That's going to be pretty close. Of course, this is 36 grit, so it's going to be kind of rough. We're all going to put a skim coat over it and then hit it with 80 grit. It's still high right here, so I'm going to work. It looks like you're starting to get a little metal show through right there. That right there, probably have to get a hammer and knock that down. We're going to sand just a little bit more. It's not quite through yet, but it's coming through. It looks like it probably will, filling that right there. All right, so I'm going to work this a little bit more and come down here and still work that a little bit and keep an eye on this, and this is what we're trying to get rid of right now. Okay, see how that looks? pretty flat right there. The only problem I have is I have just a little bit of Bondo over paint. Something I don't really like to do. They say you can do it and it's fine. They say you can do it with the Bondo I use. I just don't like to do it. I'd like to know your input on that. Oh, okay, look right here. So you see that that spot's gotten bigger. Still can't feel it. What we'll do is a body hammer. Really need a little punch. And what I'll use is hit it with the. It's got a pointy end right here. I just hit it right here. Just tap it just a little bit because you're gonna put another coat over it, and that right there is already high. So let's just tap it in just a little bit. Don't do it a whole lot. I can barely feel it right there a little bit, so it's got a little indentation. Now I can keep sanding because you still got a lip right here. That's still got to go down. This right here feeling good, feeling good. You can see right there, doesn't look like that. That's not right. You'll be, you know. So let's sand a little more, pretty close. A little bit of a lip there. If this right here is looking good, still got a little bit going on right there. That's fine. If that's a little high, we're gonna hit this right here a little bit. Still a little high right there, so we're gonna go back on the top. Body line still low right here. Still a little low right here, and that right there actually a little high now. See, it's a little bigger than it was, so we'll not tap that in a little bit more. Okay, like that. You don't want to make a big oak. You don't want to make a dent right there. You want to be able to skim coat. When you skim coat it, you want that to be able to disappear. I'm gonna try to do this with 2 wipes. Try to sand a little more. Pretty close to it though. I'm letting this thing float on that top. I'm not rolling it. I'm letting it sit there, and there's a gap right here. Staying right here on this line, keeping it flat. This is looking better right here. This is starting to go away. I still got low right there, so we'll keep sanding, see what it looks like. Pretty good. I'm gonna hit this top just a little bit, and then we'll wipe another coat on it, and then we'll take another break and let it dry. Same way right here. I'm letting it float, coming over, having a gap up under it, so you can see the line right there. I'm not rolling it. I'm holding it straight. Right there, we'll just stop. Got enough right there. A little bit of paint over, Bondo over paint right there. Okay, that right there. Still a little low spot right there. right now is I'll wipe some mud on it. And this right here, we shouldn't need a whole lot because this is going to be a skim coat. We need as much as we did last time, and we didn't use all I made last time, so we're going to stop at that, and hopefully that's enough. Really hate to waste any material. We'll get a little thing in there, a swirl, mix it up. This thing has a flat end and has a little angle on one end. You use the angle end. That's the side I use to spread and wipe with. I mix it all up like that. And just swirl it around. Be sure to get on the bottom and get that stuff off the bottom. Yeah, it's white right there. Over. Every now and then you want to do it all the way down like that, so it gets a little bit of, may have a little bit of that hardener condensed right there. Get it off, mix it in real good. Looks pretty good to me. Okay. We're gonna start off on the body line. Here we know it's low, we'll start to put a little bit right there. And I'm gonna start on this end. Just put a skim coat down it. And I don't like to wipe in one spot and sand it and come back. I like to put a little bit in the hole that's low and then come back and make an even wipe all the way across it. Seems to me it smooths out easier that way. A little trash in it right there. Got it. The same thing on the top. Coming off that body line. Trying to put it down right now. I'll smooth it up when I get it on there. Trying to make it pretty smooth when I put it on there though. And now just a little bit on it and starting to dry. So let's make it smooth, get them creases out of it. Be careful doing that. Okay. Then we're gonna let it ride just like that. See what that turns out. We'll let that dry. We're gonna take a break. Let that dry again and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back. This is the next morning. We run out of time yesterday, so we had that second coat. We're gonna sand it with 80 grit now. We'll go ahead and get started on it. Get this thing sanded. Spots right here to go away. I'm using this panel right here to be my guide. Holding everything flat, still rubbing over the top, not rolling the body line right there. Stop, put your hand on it every now and then, know where you're at. You don't want to take too much off. See here, starting to feather in, right there. It won't be long, and I'll do the rest of that with a block, not an air file. Do a little bit more right here. See right here, you're starting to see something right there. Right there, I think is where that metal was, so we'll have to be careful. We don't want that to come through. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Fill in a little bit more at the top. That right there is filling real good. A little bit right there. Have to do that with a hand block probably. We don't want to do too much right there, so I'm gonna go a little bit more right here. And then I'll do this right here. That spot right there is getting a little lighter. I have to be sure to stay off of that. Got a little bit right there trying to go down. Still a little bit more needs to come off right there. Pretty close though. That right there feels really good. Got a little bit right here. You have to Keep in mind that this doesn't happen real quick. Most folks can't do it in 2 wipes. Very seldom do you get it done in 1 wipe. Some take more than others. I'm not sure if this is going to be right. I think it's pretty close. May have to put a little bit more on it. We'll find out in just a little bit. Our body line coming in right there. Starting to be defined. I'm not rolling, same thing. That's way too pointy compared to this. This has got a nice roll to it, and this right here is pretty sharp right now. But I'll fix that with the block. Feeling pretty good. A little spot right there and right there. Still got to come down. Right there, some stuff. All right, see metal coming through right there. That tells you right there that as far as you can sand with that, you'll be able to feel it. So, need a little bit right there, so I guess what we're going to do now, we'll get rid of the air. Then we'll go with block. Tell you what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to get this edge right here. It's got some, where I wiped it and overhang. I'll just get rid of it like this. Just gonna make that flush straight up and down. It'll be a little roll too. We'll do that in a minute. I just want to get the excess off. I know where my line's at. And you get Bondo on paint that's not scratched, sanded, it'll peel right off just like that. That's why you have to sand. Keep an eye on it. You'll see it start to disappear. It'll be wide and then go down. You come look right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Not real sure. That little edge right there. You can see metal here and Bondo there. So you just stop and make it like that right there. Hold this straight up and down and sand it up and down like this. The reason why I'm doing this now is because I'm going to have to open and shut the door to make sure our body lines match up while I'm sanding it. Alright, we'll make that a lot prettier when we get done with the blocking part. Alright, so now we'll go to the blocking. I have 2 blocks that I'm going to use. I have a round block and a medium-sized long flat block. It's hard. The longer the block, the smoother your panel will be. you'll see, I'm going at an angle like this. I'm trying to stay off of that. Don't really want to get on that. It's still got Bondo over it, so we're in good shape still, but it's real thin because you can see that. I'm just trying to get this edge where it's smooth. Feeling pretty good. We still got to work on it down here. Looking pretty good so far. Okay, I like all of that. It feels real good. But this right here, this Bondo right here is actually below my body line. You can see right here, I'll sand just a little bit more right there, and it'll end up looking like this all the way to there. And I'll just take all that off when we see how that went. See right there? Right there is where you'll see. And this right here is the body line going down, so all that'll go. I'm not gonna do that right now. We're gonna concentrate now on this top section right here and this body line right here. I would say this is good. Feels real good. Same thing, I always move across, change it up. And this is 80 grit. I will go over at 180 after this, before we prime. It feels pretty good. It's got a couple little spots in it. And that's what I'm talking about. You may have to get some little spot putty and put in a couple of these spots. You may have pinholes or something in your Bondo. And I'm using this right here is a guide. I'm letting my block just stay on this, and I'm going this way. And that right there is going to set my body line. The longer the block, the better it is to do that. Short block won't work as good. You can do it like that, but it's not as good, in my opinion. You'll see there's still a little bit of stuff right there. There's a real sharp line right there. See it? That's why I'm sanding this way and sanding this way, trying to get that line straight. Looks pretty straight. I'm gonna go down this way a little bit. You can work both sides because you're sanding it down. You want it, you work this side a little bit and you work this side a little bit. And this right here will tell you when you're right. So we still got a little bit of stuff going on right here, so it's not quite down far enough. We'll keep sanding right here. Feels real good. Right here, you're starting to lose that. So we're gonna hit it just a little bit more on top right here. And we'll do that roll with the 180, not 80 grit. Okay, we're gonna shut the door and see what the take this tape off so I can see the line. And our body line is right there with that one. It looks like it lines up pretty good. And when we roll this line, it should just look just like that, and just like this down here. I'm pretty pleased with that. Well, that feels pretty smooth. You should not be able to feel anything in that when you go back and forth like this. You'll be like there's nothing there. All right, so I'm gonna change and put me some 180 on here. And it don't look like I'll have to use the round block. I was wondering if I was going to right here on this little roll right here. But this block does fine. As long as you go at an angle. If you go straight up and down, you'll leave a groove right there. That's why you go at an angle. This way, cut it that way. I need to put that on. Matter of fact, we'll open this back up now. Okay. Feels really good. Still feel a little something right there. There's a little spot, and I had to put some spot putty on a little spot. Yep, everything else right there feels really good. So down here we're still blocking it. We'll get it done with a 180, then we'll do the actual roll right there. It'll be the last thing we do. Real good. All right, so now we'll do our body line. The way I do that, I put it on this, on that body line. I just kind of let it do it itself. Do this real slow, check it real frequent. You don't want that thing to, see, it still feels a little sharp, but you don't want to sand too much off of it, because if you sand too much, then you got to wipe the whole body line again. So you see the difference how that looks, and that right there looks like just got a line right there. This right here is kind of rolled a little bit, and just fill that all the way down. It should feel the same pretty much, and it does. May still be a little high, but I'm not done yet. I work this way, that way, so this will still come down a little more as I go. And some people use tape to get their body line. They'll put a piece of tape across there and they'll sand down to that tape that'll leave this line. Same way I did. I have used the tape. I don't use it now. It is a good way to do it, especially if you're just starting off. You know, it takes a lot of practice to be able to do a line. I'm far from perfect at what I do. Make mistakes all the time, but with practice you get better. And some things I still use tape on, most of them I don't when I do a body line. I'm pretty confident in my sanding. Okay, it looks pretty good. Feels nice and smooth. And that right there is how you spread Bondo and sand, getting ready for paint. Next thing we'll do is we'll prime. Not sure if we're going to use 2K, if we're going to use a lacquer primer. Not sure on that yet. We will go over all the outside of this with 180. Make that all smooth. Primer will be next. Subscribe, like, share. Please comment. We definitely want your input. I'm always learning. Thank you. Have a good day.